We have this tweet from the Starbucks Workers United saying, breaking. In the middle of Pride Month, Starbucks bans Pride decorations in stores across the United States. Now, according to Community Notes and a few other articles, there's a spokesperson saying it is not true. They have no change to their corporate policy regarding displays for Pride or any other Heritage Month. Interesting. We continue to encourage our store leaders to celebrate with their communities, including U.S. Pride Month in June. I don't believe him. Why? For one thing, you have the actual workers pointing out they're experiencing this, and they're hearing from, it's the union saying that they're hearing from their workers. I think the ideologically motivated activists are more likely to be outraged the decorations are coming down, and the corporation is more worried about a financial backlash to people finding out. They're backtracking, but there's actually a much simpler reason I don't believe the corporation. There are videos of people in Starbucks taking down the decorations and saying they were told to take down the decorations. According to the Twitter thread, Starbucks Workers United said, for the last 2 weeks, Starbucks workers have taken to social media to report the company is no longer allowing Pride decorations in store. This seems to be the first year the publicly pro-LGBTQ company has taken this kind of stance. Taking a cue from Target, who bowed to anti-LGBTQ pressure and removed Pride merchandise, corporate and district management are taking down the Pride decorations that have become an annual tradition in stores. In union stores where Starbucks claims they are unable to make unilateral changes without bargaining, the company took down Pride decorations and flags anyway, ignoring their own anti-union talking point. Starbucks is powered by many queer workers, but management has failed to materially support the LGBT community. Last October, some workers have reported that their transgender benefit plan changed. If Starbucks was a true ally, they would stand up for us, especially during a time when LGBT people are under attack. A company that cares wouldn't turn their back. True allyship with the community is negotiating a union contract, etc., etc. Well, the update to the New Republic article is that they are denying the allegations, but there actually are videos here. We have this video on, okay, it's going to make me, I don't want to open TikTok. It's, they did post videos on the article. Maybe I can play it this way. There we go. You've got people in Starbucks taking down Pride flags. So you can see them taking the flags down. You know, so when I see a video like that, there's like 3 or 4 others that they play, and I'm kind of like, yeah, it probably makes sense that Starbucks is saying take this stuff down. And it may be that all of these companies are taking major financial hits. The White House is even condemning trans activists for their behavior that we see typical at Pride events. It seems like there is a major shift in the culture war. Yeah, corporate America is scared, and I think the elite are actually starting to become frightened that they've pushed this on us too quickly. That doesn't mean they've given up. That doesn't mean they've won. It just means that some of them are going to be a little bit softer with their messaging for a little while. But Starbucks doing this is quite significant because this is a place where beautiful people do important creative things on their MacBooks. And so as the urbanite and brilliant, forward-thinking cosmopolitans who make up their consumer base or who are their ideal customers, to be less important to them than the massive public backlash that they fear might befall them, as occurred to Target and Bud Light, is an unbelievably beautiful thing. I mean, there is real market pressure here. And I have to say, this is not something I predicted. I remember when people stopped buying Bud Light, I was cautiously optimistic, but I was a little bit worried that it might fall off. And now this is trickled all the way down to Starbucks. I mean, how wonderful.
When you think of liberals, you think of Starbucks.
Exactly.
That is exactly what you think of. And so that means what the conservatives are doing is working. We're finally doing something that's working. This means we should go harder, keep it up, never let down.
I just kind of think it's much simpler than that. I don't want to say it's not working, but I think conservatives are just in the front of the wave surfing this energy, right? Target was already dealing with backlash before conservatives even brought it up. Something changed. You know what I think it is? I think for the longest time you have pride parades. Nobody cares. They say, I don't go to those parades. I don't care if you do them. Then they have pride merchandise at stores and they're like, don't know, don't care. My family doesn't even know anything about it. Do your thing. Then one day their kid comes home with a book from school talking about adult concepts and showing them graphic pictures. And now they're saying, is that what they've been doing?
Yeah.
Wow. And so then when they walked into a Target, they went, no. I saw those books. Now we're seeing the same thing with Starbucks. Finally, people are saying, you've stepped over the line. This is the crazy thing. If they just kept it, we're going to have our celebration and we're going to mind our own business. nothing would change. But as soon as they started introducing it to children, now it's taken the whole thing down.
But even with the parades and the celebrations, they've like upped the ante. There is rampant degeneracy. There are naked people, like
illegal, lewd, nudity, sex acts, etc.
Yes,
Let's just be very
especially,
clear about
yeah,
it.
exactly. And in front of children. Oftentimes, like, these are on major city streets. And even if you're not there to go to the Pride Parade, what if you have to take your kid to the doctor and you have to walk down the street that's on the parade route? Like your kid, they are forcing your children to interact with them nonstop. And I think the parents have had enough. I've had enough.
Well, and the question is, do we want to create a culture where it is safe for children to be outside in broad daylight with their parents, where they won't be likely to see anything sexually perverse? Or do we want to make this a country where perverts are free to wear leather half naked in the streets? That's the question. And your average American, who is not necessarily on the right, is saying, I prefer a country where children aren't going to see that when they step outside.
You kind of want a balance because 100 years ago, men weren't allowed to go shirtless.
Good.
It was illegal because of decency laws to have a no shirt on when you walk around.
Men couldn't
outside.
wear shirts?
Yeah. And it was like 1920.
No, couldn't be shirtless.
Couldn't be shirtless.
Sorry, yeah. Now mine was back.
Tim's like, interesting.
Men, take your shirts off.
I would rather
I don't know
go
if
back. I would rather go back to not being able to see women's ankles. Right? Like literally not being able to see women's ankles than what it is now.
That's like Sharia.
But you're right. You're right. No, like let's be real. I prefer some good old classical and traditional liberalism. People want to dress the way they dress as long as it's not lewd and obscene. So you can wear shorts. Women can wear gym shorts and go jogging, whatever they're wearing.
But you have to cover your ankles with socks.
No. But if you're going to tell me my choice is between going back to puritanical no ankles or that video we saw out of West Hollywood where two adult men performed a sex act on each other in front of children, I'd be like, yeah, ban all of it, no ankles.
Yeah.
Like I will gladly wear 2 layers in the summer.
No child was ever traumatized or abused because they couldn't see someone's ankle, right?
Think about this.
Like,
You
it's
can't
obvious.
buy, as a woman, right? Do you know how hard it is for me to even buy a bathing suit that covers your entire backside? Like they're almost non-existent. My kids are they're like, I'm on the beach with my father, my brother, my 2 children, and they are looking at girls' butts all day long. Like it's like there's nothing wrong with it. All of society has gone way off the rails, and they're like, oh, that's fine. I even see girls in the conservative movement. They're on like religious holiday trips, and they're in thong bathing suits.
Yeah, it's wild.
Or at least the ones that are almost a thong. Like, what are we doing here?
I understand. Like there's a line, and the line keeps being pushed upon. I don't mind bathing suits. The issue is though, like Ian, you were just saying it's like Sharia almost. Look, man, we talk about this when it comes to abortion. If my choice is a pro-life candidate who says we should restrict abortion outright, I go, well, I don't know if I agree with that. Then I look over to the left and they say something like, we should have people getting abortions at 9 months. And I'm like, no, we should get rid of that. What are my options? My option is literally just the one who stops that. And this is what the left doesn't seem to understand. This is why I think Starbucks made this move. This is why I think these corporations are making this move. Because they're right now, the bifurcation of culture has split dramatically where the traditional liberals in this country who are like, we're totally cool with pride flags, are now saying, I don't want to have to explain to my kid why those 2 adult men were doing a sex act in public. Just get rid of it. Yeah. So now it's like Pride Month is out because you've crossed the line.
Well, I think, Lisa, you touched on something very important when you were discussing having trouble finding a modest bathing suit, which is that as soon as something becomes normalized, it almost invariably becomes the new status quo. And then that ends up being forced onto everybody else. So it's rarely an option between tyranny and freedom with these left-wing social causes. In fact, with the left, that's never the choice. It's almost always you're going to have reasonable restrictions, or you are actually going to be forced to support or even engage in licentiousness and degeneracy.
I used to wonder about that, how a girl could go outside with a thong bikini on and not get arrested for public indecency because I could see her full butt.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's naked.
Just naked almost, right?
Yeah, you can't just put a piece of thread through your butt crack and pretend like you're not naked. That's
Where are the morals?
Amen.
My father, like, I don't want to be with my father on a beach with girls and their butts hanging out. Like, that makes me uncomfortable. Don't these people have any self-respect or don't they have any care for their family and their oh, it's just gross.
There
to
are
me.
nude beaches. I don't think kids are supposed to go to those. Then that's because you get, your skin, sunlight is really healthy for your skin. So
You have a backyard. Everybody's got some of a backyard.
that would be
most part.
ideal. City people
not,
don't.
not in cities.
I
yeah.
mean, I live in the city, and if I really need to do that, I can make it happen. I'm just saying, but I don't need to do that.
And by the water, it's really, really healthy. All that salt water.
We're going to see a pendulum swing back in the other direction because it's gone too far. There's been tons of tolerance. There's been a ton of live and let live, and that's why at the beach people are wearing basically whatever they want. But now it's getting to the point where, look, I don't think most people to this day, I think most people still don't care that women are in bikinis at the beach and that guys are wearing Speedos or whatever, if they do. Most people still don't care. What happens is you get to the line where there are people in parades, these two adult men. This is the viral video. There's also the video of the guy shoving his butt up for the child while the mom laughs. Like, as soon as that happens, the dam breaks.
Yeah.
The straw breaks the camel's back. And then regular people and regular liberals say, enough. This is getting out of hand. It's got to stop.
Yeah, it's the sex acts that are too much. If you went to a beach and people were in a bikini and, what you were saying, like a dude in a Speedo, but they were pretending to get it on, like doggy stuff, that would not fly. The cops would be like, you're under arrest for public indecency. You can't simulate sex acts in front of kids on the beach. Like,
At
stop.
a pride parade, you can.
But apparently this is like a place in society where there's been a loophole for some
I
reason.
think Tim's right, though. But so I'm on Instagram, and of course their algorithms favor the things that I like. But I have noticed like really floral and feminine dresses coming back that are more modest in nature,
Yeah.
long, right? They're selling, and they're selling off the racks for like $300, and they're always sold out, right? Like there's tons of them, and I'm seeing more and more people talk about wanting to homestead, and I think the pendulum is starting to swing, which is the only thing that's really giving me some
And it
hope.
is. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.